The Bible is for me.
What's missing from church? CH blank CH. You are.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen that sign?
Yeah.
That's what I want you to picture as we start this segment of the podcast. Hi, welcome. My name is Anthony Russo. That's Tim Wyckoff, and you're here on the Bible is Funny podcast for the pilot episode of a very new segment we are rough titling Churches Are Funny.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's because it's a very nuanced naming system we have. Churches are funny. I'm so excited for today because Tim and I both grew up in church. We have deep church roots. We travel and perform improv comedy. We've done a lot of that for churches at different events. We've just been around church.
Yeah, let's be clear for the broad audience who might be listening. I think both of our backgrounds are in evangelical churches. Predominantly white churches. White. So our experience of churches is that, not that I haven't been in other churches before, but that's what we grew up in. That's our background church wise. It's like a lot of other people, but it's also unlike a lot of people. So some people may find the stories we have familiar. Some of the stuff that we'll see is going to sound familiar. Some of it might not. I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
You have no idea.
I really have no
clue.
But this whole idea started with Anthony and I talking about all of the different things that we've had happen in our church, or not just in our church, but things we've seen in our travels, different events we've gone to. There's been some weird things happen in churches, and some of them are like really bad and awful, and some of them are just quirky and fun. Right. But we have a lot of personal stories ourselves, and we often get together with our friends, people that we grew up with, or people who have been like kind of in our faith community over a period of time. Yeah. And we're always talking about church stories because they're funny.
They're so funny. And there's a sense for me, so without getting like too, mixed up and sentimental and stuff, I grew up for a period of time with just me and my mom. And church was like, we were always at church. Like It was just like, and it had this sort of like home feeling for me, and I still feel this way whenever I go in. I've never stepped foot in a church, any denomination, anywhere in the country, where I was not like, yeah, this is like my aunt's house. Yeah, for me, like this is always like there's something, just having grown up the way I do. We're there 3-4 days a week, and that's why for context, I love church stories. I just think they're so funny. I love how different it looks, different in different communities, different. I love it. I can't get enough. And there is nuance here. There's like some people have these awful stories. Some people have these really great, positive, inspirational stories. And like we do with everything, we're going to ignore all of that. And we're just going to do the funny ones.
We're doing nothing inspirational today.
That's what we do. Just the funny ones.
I hope that's what you're bringing me, because you've read the stories. I don't know what they are.
I mean, I think you're going to cry at a couple of them.
I tend to do that.
Not too many of them. So the way that this worked, if you've been paying attention, we've been collecting these church stories. We will continue to collect church stories for this segment. And we might even give you like some specific prompts, because we started here real wide and I just said, give us your funny church story, and you came through in a big way, and we're going to talk about those today. But going forward, if you follow along at The Bible is Funny, you'll see the prompts, and you can send us in your church stories, and we'd love to share them together here during Churches Are Funny.
Depends on how this goes, I guess.
Depending on how all this goes. I want to start with this one because I might be starting with the best, and maybe that's an issue. But here you go. This came from our friend Vero. We were all chatting in the sanctuary, waiting for the service to start at our small country church, when an older lady walked in, and this sweet, funny old man yells, "Hey, I almost didn't recognize you with your clothes on." An awkward silence followed until he finally proceeded, "We take lessons at the pool together." Just then, the worship band began to play to start the service.
I love that.
I almost didn't recognize you with your clothes on is a great greeting And you should use it as often as you can in church.
Do you know what's so funny about that? Is that I literally did that to someone else.
No way.
I'll tell you the story. It was actually kind of church related. And all of this is very familiar. This could have been my story, except for it wasn't an old lady. There was a dude, like when I worked at the YMCA up in Nashville a long time ago. We had like swim lessons that took place there, and like they had teachers bring in their students like from local public schools to help them learn how to swim.
Okay.
Because swimming is like the number 2 cause of death for kids at that age. And so we're like, hey, let's get them in the swim. Let's get them comfortable with the pool. And so the teachers would come in, swim with the kids, like do these lessons with the kids and stuff.
Yeah. And
then there was a guy that I went to church with, that he was one of the teachers, and I would see him all the time. And then, but I didn't really talk to him. I knew I went to church with him.
Yeah.
And then I made a comment to him one day at church, like, oh, I didn't recognize you with your shirt on. And then it turns out that was not the dude. It actually wasn't the same guy. And here I am making some comment to a dude. And then to go back and explain and be like, oh crap, sorry, that wasn't you, as a different dude I usually see with his shirt off. Yeah. And that's why I didn't recognize you.
And then the next time you see either of them, you're like, take your shirt off real quick.
So
I can see. Okay, Dale. Yes.
That's you.
Dale.
You got the nipple ring, Dale.
Got it.
Oh, what a great, I love it because it's so cringy in the most healthy way.
Yeah. Case of mistaken identity carries us to our next one, which came from our dear sister Raya, who reached out. I was visiting a church for the first time, just me and my baby daughter, about a year old, who was just learning how to talk. I got there a little late, and they had just finished praying when I came into the sanctuary and quietly sat down towards the back. It was whisper quiet in there. When I sat, my daughter looked at the man I had never seen before in my life, seating next to us, and happily called out loud enough for the entire church to hear, "Daddy?" That poor man had just gotten married 6 months prior. Never seen him before in my life. I grew up as a little kid going into the big service and sitting in there. Yeah. And I sort of love the dynamic that brings. Like, I know some people are like, I can't focus because of the baby and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I like the mayhem. I like a baby sitting in the row in front of me, staring me down, like just uninhibited eye contact the whole time, and you're like, do I look away? No. I'm trying to make faces, and you don't think it's cute. You're just like staring into my soul. I love it. I think everyone should bring their little kids into the big worship area. Yeah, totally agree. I think that's so funny. I always it's usually with your kids, but they'll say like, "Dad," and not realize it wasn't you, and I'll go, "No, I'm probably not your dad." There's a great chance. Good chance I'm not your dad. I'm not your dad. You ready for another one? Yeah, why not? This is our sister Emily sent this in. Okay. And this is gonna have to be another whole episode dedicated to just like children's area stuff, but there's a couple in here. Emily says, after helping in Sunday school one day, the kids gathered around me to tell me about their lives, weeks, dreams, etc., as children do. One boy started telling me about something he watched recently on TV. The program featured a man who had more piercings than anyone else in the world. He even had a bunch on his genitals. Oh, no. You have no idea the sigh of relief I breathed at this boy's pronunciation of that word. When the other kids asked me what those were, I just told them it's people who aren't Jewish and moved on to another topic very quickly. And how can we tell they're not Jewish? We look at their Gentiles. He even had some on his Gentiles. Oh, boy. Oh, like what show is this kid watching? That's a great question. And like, unless it's a Ripley's Believe It or Not, or I don't know, like The Greatest Showman, where they're like, oh, you have tattoos everywhere, even, and then they agree. Yeah. Yeah. What show are they watching? It's always as a parent though, I do feel for like anytime there's like a miscue. One I think about all the time with our kids is like, we got a pond in the back, and in the spring, the ducks like to make other ducks. And I don't wish anyone would have to see this, but my kids do And then they just cannot stop talking about it. Like, you should have seen what was going on with these
Do they
ducks.
know it, or they think they're fighting?
I don't think they're fully aware, but everybody, all the adults they talk to know. And I'm like, I can't control the ducks. And it's just a pond back there.
It's nature, man.
And it is graphic. And the poor lady duck is fighting for her life under the water. And it's quite a scene. And so inevitably that's going to come out in Sunday school. They're going to do, if no one, these kids will be a locked vault. You know, how's school? Fine. Nothing. Nothing. They get to Sunday school with some random teacher. Boy, get a notepad out. Let me tell you about my dad and the times he's failed miserably. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you about the weird stuff that's going on in my house. I'm an open book.
Or in my pond.
For 30 minutes. And then I'm going to go back in the car and not tell him anything.
I mean, not knowing, not to get into the science of it, I really don't know how it works with birds in general. Especially, I mean, it's funny that we say the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
I don't know how the birds do it. I don't know.
I don't want to go into this.
We
not
need to
look into ducks. That's all I'll say.
That's great.
The Gentiles.
Well, gosh, that brought up something else, something funny. Dang it, I forgot what it was. Yeah, that's such a fun thing to bring up in Sunday school too. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, she did exactly the right thing. You go with what the kids said, and what is a Gentile? I'll tell you. Mm-hmm. When you see that word, this is what it's referring to. Moving on. Mm-hmm. Coloring sheet time.
Mm-hmm. I do like having the kids like mispronounce the thing and then going like, yeah, we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. No further. That's it. Mm-hmm. I got another one. This is a nightmare of yours. That's why I flagged it.
Oh boy. From
our sister Janet. A couple of years ago.
Can you stop calling them sisters?
That's who they are, though.
It feels very. No, it feels Amish. No offense. It's just not me.
This is a quick one, but I just know you would appreciate it personally. This is from random person Janet. A number of years ago, the pastor of the church I attended was wearing a wireless mic. He decided to run to the restroom for a quick whiz prior to service starting. Didn't realize he turned on his mic. We all shared in his very personal potty moment over the sanctuary audio system.
How does that make you feel, Ant?
I don't think I've ever left the mic. Did I leave the mic on before?
No, you just didn't show up on stage.
I was late to stage one time.
We were called on stage because you decided at the 11th hour. I think
everyone that's been on stage in church or otherwise, you have this. There are two wolves. There is a wolf that says you're going to be on stage in a second. Just stay where you are. Right. And there's a wolf that says, I think you got time to go to the bathroom. I think now's the right time. I think you should go to the bathroom. And sometimes bathroom wolf wins. And you got to turn your mic off.
I know.
You got to turn your mic off.
Do you remember, like, Ryan and I, we used to always have that joke that, like, if you come out of the bathroom before the show, you're all mic'd up. You got all your gear on. It's hard. Not that it's hard to take that stuff off, but you don't want to mess with what the tech person has done.
That's right.
Like, they've done this configuration of the microphone around your ear. If you got a headset or a lapel, like, everything's been dialed in. And sometimes if, like, there's a wire that hasn't been screwed on right, like, you don't mess that up. You don't want to mess up what's been happening here, because otherwise you got to, like, unwind everything, and then also you have to have somebody help put it all back, and sometimes it's hard, especially right before you go out on stage. Yeah. And Ryan and I would always mess with each other and be like, dude, your mic was on. I could hear the whole thing.
Hear it the whole time.
Yeah. Everything you said, every grunt you grunted, I could hear that. They could hear it too.
When I was working at a church, we used to have pastors who would start singing. And for me, people who randomly start singing, that's so weird.
Like in the bathroom?
Well, just in general. Like if you're just doing a podcast or something and you start singing periodically, that's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Nobody should do it. No, I'm saying like you'd be doing a sermon or maybe doing an altar call or something and the band's playing. And we'll bring the band up as the band plays there. And they'll start singing. And they forget their mics on.
Oh,
and
you're like, that. Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Like, oh, no. Oh, cut it.
You're not good at this.
It's just not good.
No.
We need that off immediately.
Uh-huh.
You know? Because it'll just be like, this awful tone deaf situation.
No, if I'm a pastor and I'm up on stage all the time, like I'm turning my mic completely off, or I'm gonna mouth all the words. I think God's okay with it.
Yeah. I'm cutting it off.
Well, but also for those of you who aren't in the know, if you don't have to wear a microphone all the time, a lot of the tech people will say,
they don't
turn off your mic, because every time, because it happens once a week, somebody goes up on stage that's not used to being up on stage, and then they go on and they turn their mic on, but they actually turned it off.
Yeah.
And then they start talking and nobody can hear them. And then they go like, huh, what? And then they make some noise and they grab another microphone and then they slap it like that and go, hey, how about this one? And then they go, oh, all right, forget it. We'll abandon the other one. And it makes the tech person look like a dummy.
So bad.
And they hate it. And so they go, you know what? Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Don't mess with your microphone. Don't even touch it. Don't turn it off. I will do all of that from back here. I'm going to take that off of you. I, however, am terrified of being heard when I don't need to be heard.
Right.
Sometimes I'm making some statements that other people shouldn't hear. Sometimes they're offensive.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. And I don't want the whole world to hear those things.
There's two areas involved in this story that are endlessly funny to me. And that's a church bathroom. I think is hilarious because bathrooms are funny to begin with because I'm a child. But secondarily, when you put it inside of a church, there's something holy and divine about this whole experience. And then there's the bathroom, and it's there, and we have to make our peace with it. But it's just funny because you're just like, we're here to surround ourselves in the glory of God. And then if you need to take a poo, there's a spot. And that's just funny to me. Secondarily, thirdly, the sound booth. And it's just like, we've got to know so many sound booth. Where so many sound engineers, audio engineers, and they're inevitably at your church, and maybe your church is one in a million. They're under supported, they're understaffed, they don't have the right equipment, and they're trying to make more work than they have time with. Mm-hmm. And then they get caught in this mix. And stop me if you've heard this before, of like a video doesn't work, and we're gonna call it spiritual warfare. And then the tech person knows it's because of like a wire. Like it's a wire that doesn't work. And we have to like
spiritual warfare
fix it. and I maybe I've said it on the pod before, maybe I haven't. They're only talked about when stuff doesn't work, which is like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Or they'll, if you've ever been at a service and somebody does, our guys are working so hard back there. Can you turn around? They've just failed miserably and publicly. Can you give them a round of applause? But the times you go and the band sounds good, wow, they're good singers. Mm-hmm. And the videos, that's a powerful video. And there's like one person back there, two people making all that stuff happen.
Right.
And they're just the most underappreciated.
Frantically hitting their cues, the lighting, when they're supposed to hit it, when like your mic is supposed to be on and your mic is supposed to be off now, and now you switch, but you're handing your mic off to that person when they're coming up in about 6 minutes, and you have to make sure that they're cool and everything is turned off. You don't want any pops, because one thing goes wrong and everybody goes back at the sound booth.
What did you guys do?
It's terrible. And they can't argue. They can't grab a mic and go, it wasn't my fault. You didn't give me the video till this morning. Yeah.
Exactly.
I told you to give me the hard copy, not a link.
You sent me a flat PDF and I had to pull all the text off of it.
We haven't done as many like live shows as we did back in the day when we were younger and like closer in age to the college and high school kids that we were performing for. I will gush over the sound people all the time. Because I know what they're doing is hard and I don't understand it. And I also want them to pay attention to my stuff.
Yes.
I want them to be aware that like I look like a dummy when my mic doesn't work. Right. And I don't want that, please. So please don't make me look dumb.
And you have to engage in this sort of like you were alluding to it a minute ago of like when we're trying to troubleshoot, we're on opposite sides of the room in front of potentially hundreds of people. So we're playing this weird charades where you're pointing to something and I'm trying to...
And I can't see you because the lights are in my face.
Yeah, it's brutal. Anyway. Okay, here you go. I got another one for you. This comes from Ashton. One Sunday, our early morning prayer team noticed a man on our property having a breakdown, and they saw him throwing his wallet down at our crosses on campus before taking off walking down the road looking miserable. He clearly looked disturbed, so our pastor asked a staff member to go after him and just sort of check on him. So the staff member gets in their car, takes off down the road, sees a guy walking, it says like, hey man, love to come back and just get a chance to talk with you. And after some kind of convincing, the guy agrees. He comes back to the church and we just treat him like a royal guest. Like everybody's just sort of locked in on like, this guy came here to our physical property. He's having a tough day. We give him the wallet back. And then after the service, they kind of see us all doting over this guy. And somebody from the early morning prayer team walks up and goes, hey, that's not the guy that was here this morning. They take the wallet back, and it was in fact not the same guy.
Oh my gosh.
We picked up a random dude on the street, and he just went with it the whole morning. We later found the actual man, and his wife said thank you for caring, and he's doing okay now.
Missed it.
So the church member just picked up someone from the side, just said, come on, man, come with me back to church. We'll figure this out. And the guy was like, all right. Okay.
There are so many people who did something wrong in that scenario.
Yeah.
What would you do if somebody was like, hey, you need to come back to church?
If I'm on the side of the road,
and you weren't the dude.
I mean, especially if they're going to hand me a wallet right away.
I was waiting for
if
it
they're
to...
using it as like a carrot, like, come on, get in the car.
Okay.
I guess we'll see what's in there.
Right?
They seem nice.
It's like luring kids into your van with candy.
No, I don't think... I feel like I would not get in a car to go back to church as much as... What is this guy doing out on Sunday morning on the side of the road, just walking down the street is another question.
I think that's a perfectly acceptable thing to do. Kidnapping isn't.
It was like with consent. Kidnapping
with consent. That's the title of this podcast.
I love the hearts of everybody involved. Somebody from the early morning prayer team had to go like, that's the wrong guy.
Not the dude.
This is not who was having.
And eventually the wife is like, yeah, thanks for checking on him.
Also need backstory on what led to the very cinematic moment of chucking your wallet at a cross.
That's what I was waiting for it to be, like a story about theft, that he like pickpocketed somebody in the early service and then like walked out real sneaky and then saw there was no cash in there and was like, forget it. I'm done with this lifestyle. And he just chucked it on the ground.
Oh, and maybe like was repenting.
No, he's mad. He's mad that he didn't get anything from his haul.
Yeah.
And then he's storming off and didn't want to be found, and so he wasn't.
I need more info from this fellow's wife on this. Like what was going on that you're throwing your wallet at a cross?
Yeah.
Maybe you felt like you got a real spiritual leading on like a parlay on FanDuel and then it didn't work and you were like upset about that. I don't know. Maybe he took your strategy in March Madness and he picked all of the Christian colleges.
Yes.
This bracket fell apart.
Whoa, by the way, mine did not.
Yours did not. I got a couple more for you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I just no, I'm with you. I want to hear more about that story. I want to know what the wife was thinking. What was the dude going through?
Yeah.
What happened? Because if it was his wallet, there's nothing that, I don't know. I'm going to go back to the church to get my wallet.
And if you're the guy you were just picked up on the side of the road by a stranger and then they handed you a wallet that wasn't yours, like when were you going to say, I guess you're just rolling with it.
I mean, you got to check and see what's in it first.
Yeah. I mean, he hooked it up to his Amazon account and then he was like, all right, I guess you guys.
Yeah, back. It's just pictures of some guy's kids.
All right, I got a couple more for you. This one came in, asked to remain anonymous. We once had an old man visit our church. During prayer, we don't necessarily pray loudly at our church. His phone rang, and his ringtone was Anaconda by Nicki Minaj. His ringtone was at its highest volume, and he could not figure out a way to turn it off, and eventually had to excuse himself to the foyer from the main church. So the song played for roughly a minute.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Did they say, sorry, what was the beginning? They said it was a new guy?
I just said an old man.
An old man.
Oh, it said an old man visit our church.
Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't regular, but yeah, during prayer, Anaconda by Nicki Minaj.
Bold.
Somebody was, I was at a church service once, older person, not to stereotype, had their Bible open, and there's a button on the Bible app, the popular one that most people have, that will read it. And they had pushed that button, and it's just out loud sort of reading everything, and they could not figure out how to turn it off. And it was like, as a younger person in the general area, I'm like, what's my timer here before I get involved? I don't want to yank your phone away from you. I don't know you. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we gotta stop just reading the Bible aloud here during service.
I love this mix of technology issue with whatever Nicki Minaj in church issue, like whatever we want to call that. If there's a label for that, it's like inappropriate songs that you would be playing. Yeah, it happens all the time.
I don't knock the guy for having taste in music, you know? I mean, he likes Nicki Minaj. He's allowed to have that as a ringtone. You just got to silence your phone. Is your phone? Are you a silent phone person, right? Like you have your ringtone.
Yeah, I'm a silent phone person 24/7.
I know. And then every time, I don't know if this is your case, every time I like don't know where my phone is for a moment, my wife's always like, you're on silent all the time. Can't hear it when it rings.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, but
I think there's a thing you can do on the iPhone where it'll make a noise.
Yeah, you can.
If you really can't find it.
You can. If you had to do a ringtone right now, what would be your phone ringtone?
I think I'd be going back to this straight up normal ring.
Oh, like the classic.
Yeah.
You're getting rid of the
Yeah, I never had that because it's obnoxious.
What are you now?
I'm silent. I go total silent.
But you would go corded phone.
Yeah.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Mm-hmm. Ringtones were a fun time. Then we did ringbacks for a while, where you call someone and that would ring. It would you play a song instead of ringing.
Yeah,
it was such an interesting little window of time before phones got where they are now.
Yeah, well, like how you could like personalize your life.
Yeah,
I mean nobody calls anymore, so what's the point of the call back tone?
That felt like there was something in that.
Oh, wasn't
I call you.
We talk to each other.
I call you
often.
A bit.
I know, but who else do you call?
Rach.
Right. I call Kevin. He's the only. I call Kevin. I text everybody.
I call now.
Else.
She doesn't pick up.
Well, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I got two. It's same two people back and forth.
Right.
I miss calls from them. I call them.
No, we lived in an age where you personalized your life, and then maybe kids do it nowadays. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Like a different way.
Yeah, but like with a text message, I don't know. A text message, like what? Who cares about a ringtone for that?
Yeah,
you don't want that.
Yeah, you don't.
That's all the kids are doing nowadays.
What do you think of this? Of like an audible typing sound when you're like texting somebody?
Oh, gross.
Sometimes I think it's nice because it almost feels like what I'm doing is registering a sound.
No. We don't need more sound in the world. We need more people to be quiet. Sound is overrated. Stop.
Speaking of sounds, I think I'm going to do two more. As my call right now. How are you feeling?
I want to hear. I want to hear more about you not being quiet with your text. Like, why do you like it? Do you want it?
Yeah, I'm saying I kind of like that sometimes.
Do you toggle it on and off or something?
No, but sometimes I'll leave it. Sometimes I'll have it on. If I'm like, if I have a call that I'm expecting that I don't want to miss, I'll turn my phone on for that. And if I'm texting during that time, I'm like, there's something I like about this, that it's like, sometimes you're texting and it's like showing up on a screen. I don't know. I get real like, what am I doing in the world? Nothing's registering anything. None of this is real. And then it makes a sound and I'm like, there we go.
Existential
made a sound.
Crisis averted.
It made a sound. So now if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, did it even fall? Is the question I'm trying to answer. And I'm like, if I'm texting and it's making at least the sound of me typing, something's happening, maybe.
I think if my phone started making noise like that, I would just throw it in the water and I would get a new phone because I wouldn't know how to turn it back off.
We've talked before about when you're in the car with somebody. I'm really against like my phone just like sort of automatically switching all function to the car. I just get nervous about that because we've been in cars with people where it's like one, like their sound of typing will come up or like their text messages pop right up and you're just like, I don't want to know your business.
I don't want to hear that.
I think I'd rather just everything I don't want to know. Mm-hmm. And I'm just in the car. I'm not even peeking at your phone,
right? Which
I also do all the time.
You peek at other people's phone?
Oh my gosh. I wish I could quit. I really struggle. I'm just like, shoot, reading your whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm being vulnerable with the audience today.
That's like, yeah, that's I think you go to jail for that stuff.
It's wrong. And I catch myself and I'm like, Aunt, stop. You can't just look at another person typing on their phone.
Right. Is that why you go for walks late at night in your neighborhood? To just look in people's windows?
No. I'm gonna look in a window.
That's you?
I'm gonna look in a window. But if I'm sitting on an airplane next to you and you get your phone out, I'm 100% like, okay, who are we talking to? What's going on?
Just with strangers or with like people you know?
Oh, way more with strangers.
Yeah.
I'm better about not wanting to know what people I know are texting about. All right. I wanted to read this one just because I think it's funny, but it's just kind of a quick honorable mention. This is from Catherine. I was the church pianist, and at this time, very pregnant with my second child. During a prayer, I quietly went up on stage to get ready to play the next song, and my big belly hit the keys. Catherine, I just love that story so much.
My big belly.
Whack. As you sit down. Like, gosh, that's great.
That's awesome.
And we've all seen this, and it's tough. The worship team has to like appear. There's usually if I'm pulling the curtain back a little, I'm sorry, but there's usually a code word from the pastor that says, I've said this word, and now I'm wrapping up. So then all of the members of the team, usually at least the piano player or keyboard player, has to creep, like sort of mysteriously make their way up with making no noise. I got to imagine you're super pregnant and you're trying to do that, and then you make a loud noise when you sit down. Made me giggle.
Oh, I love it. What a great reason. Because I know that happens. I've seen that happen, not necessarily with a pregnant woman, but you see somebody like accidentally like drop something on the drum set and you're but what an honorable excuse for like why you made that noise. Mm-hmm. I'm with child. The kid did that. It's not me.
And although there's like a million things that are uncomfortable about being pregnant, obviously there's a lot of negatives. The positive is like you just look someone in the eye and go, say something. Mm-hmm. Oh, say something. Mm-hmm. No? Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, fly away. Right back to it. All right, two more. This is these are specially chosen.
I think you said two more about three.
Well, this was I had to do my honorable mention, then I got two more for you. I specially chose these because I think you'll connect with them. This is from Howard. In the congregation I grew up in funerals, funerals had these visitations that were held in the church. The casket would be front and center. Family and relatives would bracket both sides in a receiving line. The line of visitors would slowly inch forward from the back of the building as people often would spend minutes in conversation and consultation with family members. My grandmother was standing in one of those lines once when she felt a loosening around her waist and her panties slithered to the ground under her dress. The elastic waistband gave up the ghost. As her panties pulled around her feet, she calmly stepped out, picked them up, stuffed them in her oversized purse, and for several hours in public, Grandma went commando.
Yes. That's amazing.
I just love the survival. No shame in Grandma.
No.
Just going like, I knew these were close when I put them on. Like I knew these had more days behind them than in front of them, these particular underwears. And then when it goes down in public, you just let them go. Mm-hmm. You don't fight it.
Gosh, so many puns to be made in there too.
Granny panties? Is what you're on too?
Just like how you should probably wish she was dead at that moment.
Put them in your purse and carry on business is what I just loved.
Did it say she picked him up right there?
Picked him up. So she stepped out of him, picked him up, put him in her purse.
Wow.
That's it.
That's great.
All right. Now I got one last one. This one was kind of the finale.
I love funeral stories, by the way.
Yeah.
I know we have some.
Appreciate
Someday we're gonna get to them.
I feel like it's its own, like funeral stories should be get their own time.
So much awkward. Like anyway, we can get into it, but
nothing but respect for grandma in this scenario.
Of course, just take care of business.
You know what? We're flying. We're flying.
I'm also curious though, like the underwear you put on that morning.
Yep.
Was there like one final straw on the elastic? They were like, I think I got another couple of weeks out of these.
This tells me potentially grandma was like, I'm not close to this person.
Or did they have a buckle or something? Is there another thing that's holding
I'm not putting
these
on
up?
the good underwears for Dale's funeral. Right. That would be ridiculous.
I'm glad he's dead.
What a way for the underwear to go too. Like just as a funeral for multiple.
I don't know why she didn't just stuff him in the casket. What good are they doing her there? What are you going to do? Are you going to take him home? Are you going to darn them back together?
Great
with
use
elastic?
of the word darn.
Yeah, the grandma's not doing that. Just stuff him in the casket. Who cares? When his wife Maria goes in to finally close the thing, she's gonna be like, "What the Dale? What in the world?
How did you know Dale again?" All right, here's your last one. This is from Jamie. Our youth runs a small concession stand, and during the summer, we sell pop ice popsicles. We, at the time, we had a student who was blind come up to buy one after service. Me, the youth pastor who forgets often that she's blind, asked her, what color? Then I felt immediately bad.
God.
Because I thought to myself, does she choose by color or flavor? In the midst of all the chaos, I got distracted by another student while I was handing her the popsicle. So instead of placing it in her hand like I'm supposed to, I just held it out in front of her face, expecting her to grab it. After about 10 seconds of her not grabbing it, I thought it was weird that I was still holding it. Then I realized it's because she's waving her hand through the air trying to find it.
Oh my gosh.
I felt like a trash human, and I think about it every single day.
You should. I'm sweating. I am sweating thinking about that moment for you. Jamie. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Starting with asking what color. And then going to holding it in front of her face. And she doesn't know where it is.
Oh boy. I mean, wow. And what if she goes, well, that's not the color I asked for. And you go, yeah, it is. It's fine. Trust me, it's purple.
It's definitely the purple one for sure.
Oh boy.
I love this. I love the way Jamie wrote it because yes, that is a moment I would replay like at least
every single day.
Once a day.
Yeah.
Just go back to like, and you can just picture it. You're handing them all out and you go, why is nobody taking? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when we were on the road a lot before your time with Isaac stuff, when I traveled with another mutual friend, he would tell this story about like when he would go on stage. There was one time where he goes up on stage and we had the bucket back then, and but then even farther back we had a plunger, the plunger of salvation, and that was if a scene was going bad, it's all improvised stories, right. And if it wasn't very funny, if it was going pretty poorly, you threw this plunger out into the stage and it erased everybody's memory and whatever.
Yeah.
And so he goes out there and he's like doing this thing. And everybody's supposed to jump up and cheer and like clap and whatever. And so he gets out there and he does this thing. Yep. And he notices this one kid on the front row isn't doing it.
Oh no!
And he goes out and he's an elaborate kind of person and does this big deal, does this big show, and like points at this kid, calls him out, like to make fun of, because it's kids. We're dealing with a lot of like high school, middle school kids. There's a lot of that. And then he sees that the kid's not even really looking at him. And then he looks over at the person who is doing the sign language stuff for him. and he like crawled into this little hole, but he told the story all the time, and I'm sure he thought about it every day. So Jamie, you're not alone.
Yes.
There's a few people that have had something so horrific done to them as the girl, but there's a few out there. You're not the only perpetrator of this stuff.
Yeah, certainly less kind of ADA connected, but we once did improv here locally at a I was going to say it was a singles event at a church, and
it's being single isn't a handicap.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it felt similar, and it wasn't me, but somebody went up to get something for our story to take place, and they were like, or something to our story about. It was like, you just get into a rhythm with some of these questions, and they were like, hey, give me some like the last argument you and your spouse had. It was like, hey, they're not answering because, and it was like too like, come on, just like there's no wrong answer. It's like, no, they don't
like, oh, well, my last spouse, that's which is why I'm single now. This is what caused our split.
I can't answer the question.
Jeez.
Yeah. Pretty great.
So good. Good one to end on. Thanks,
Good
Jamie.
Stories, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for sharing your stories. This was every bit the fun I hoped it would be.
Oh, boy.
Segments called Churches Are Funny.
I'm still getting over the sweat, the clamminess that I feel.
I'm telling you, that story's epic. Send us your church stories. You can just send us a story unprompted whenever you want to @TheBibleIsFunny on Instagram or TikTok. And the lines are open now. We're receiving them. But also be on the lookout, and we'll try to get prompts around some kind of specific ideas. So be on the lookout for that. And that's our new segment. Tim, you still sweating?
Just a little bit.
Perfect. Bible's Funny podcast hats available. Bible's Funny card game, volume 1 and 2 available in the show notes. You can check the link for those. And send us your church stories, and we'll be back here with another episode real soon. Talk to you then.
Okay, love you. Bye.